Welcome back to the Five. You know, since we announced that Bob was on Twitter, it's at Robert G. Beckel, and he now has 632 followers.
That's fine. That's enough.
Okay. You don't want any more. All right. Let's move to my monologue. So according to the left-wing gossip blog Gawker, the New York Times is putting together a piece that suggests President Obama may have depression. The Times won't comment, and it is Gawker, which is about as reliable as a phony Rolex. But still, they claim Obama no longer finds pleasure in his job. Meaning, if you think you're having a rough time being unemployed, imagine how he must feel, since he caused it. I kid. He didn't really cause all of it. But the media will love this story. See, in the past, the president's flaws are always scrutinized in tough times. Has President Reagan lost a step? Has President Bush given up? But in this case, it's depression, and it's probably your fault, or our fault. Yep, we caused it because we just don't appreciate him. He's too good for us. And like all sensitive intellectuals, our callousness wounds him. We're the jerks and he's James Dean. But I disagree. If this story is real, I'm not sure it is, but Obama has changed, it's not because of us. Shielded for so long by an adoring media, our president did not build up an immune system that protects against hard knocks. Now they're all knocking at once, and Obama doesn't have any padding. And while that may not lead to depression, it will lead to dumb gossip stories like this. Bob, you're looking at you don't buy this story, but you got to admit he probably has changed. He has changed.
First of all, I didn't know Gawker was left wing because they've dumped on me a number of times. Well, I guess everybody does. What difference does it make? I don't know how. I mean, first of all, if depression is the result of being dumped on, then Obama ought to be in an insane asylum, given what you guys do to him every day and everybody else. But I think he stood up remarkably well.
Everybody else, come on. The one thing about being White House press secretary, I can tell you, is that the press loves nothing more than to put a president on the couch and to analyze them. They probably took, like had a minor in psychology, so they have to use it somehow. It's a tough job, and it's tough for a reason. The thing is that the press will constantly do this type of thing so that they can build him up later on. An amazing comeback. Look at this. This is so great. And I can tell you, September 2012. This is your
warning. That's right.
But they wouldn't do that with President Bush. When they would analyze him, it wasn't to build him back up.
In fact, Barbara Walters, I remember one time he told me in the 2000 campaign, she said, now, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? And he said, but I'm not a tree. I'm a bush.
Yeah, that's very good.
Do you think he's depressed because of you, Eric? Is it your fault?
No,
it is true.
No, he's not my fault. He's not even depressed. Here's a guy who goes to Brazil. He goes to Martha's Vineyard. He takes the plane down to Florida. He goes back to Brazil, back to Martha's Vineyard. Yeah. Michelle goes to Spain with her family. Yeah, that's depressing.
Oh.
That's depressing. We should all be so depressed.
Why don't we jump on the kids now, too?
You open the headline to zero job numbers. Yeah. That makes me depressed. Yeah. I bet you if the New York Times did a report, they'd find the country is more depressed with him as president. How he feels. What about us?
Yeah, but what about you? I mean, look, Obama's doing everything he can under very difficult circumstances. And by the way, psychiatry and psychology, I went through 15 psychiatrists in my life. I got fired by, it's hard to get fired by a psychiatrist because they always want you to show up and pay you money. 3 of them wouldn't see me after a while. It's a waste of time, and it's a waste of time
talking about. Because you thought you should get it for free?
Where?
But they didn't want to see you because you wouldn't pay your bills?
No, I was willing to pay my bill. I was driving them crazy.
You didn't have 15 shrinks. You had 5 shrinks that then went to 5 shrinks, and they went to 5 shrinks.
But listen, the point is, I think
that is how you create jobs in
America.
Let me say one thing about that. Dana, let's remember what Dana said here, because I think she's exactly right. And I've been saying this also about expectations. Obama's expectations are so low right now. His press is so bad. The commentary, particularly here, is unbelievably nasty. By this time next year, it will be picked up.
Nothing compares to what Bush went through or what Reagan went through.
Oh, ridiculous.
And he did it to himself. During the 2008 campaign, he's the one that got us all. Remember those stories? We're high on Obama, these lofty.
And not only that.
He set the bar too high.
Give me a break. What do we find out today? 15.1% of the nation is now living below the poverty line. In addition, for the 3rd year in a row that we're in the hole. In excess of $1 trillion.
Did you read that figure at your beach house in
No, the Census Bureau put it out today. 22% of children are in poverty. That's depressing.
And so you have that number, a troubling number that we should probably spend a little bit more time on the expectations thing with President Obama. The thing that's amazing is that they constantly lower expectations. I understand that. The problem is, because they don't do the echo chamber thing, just for this latest jobs plan, then they actually meet the low expectations that they set.
Have you thought that one of the reasons the expectations are so low is because the Republicans are blocking everything he's trying to do, including getting people off of welfare?
Both houses.
The Republicans have said no.
What has he wanted that he
said
didn't
do
get?
nothing in Congress.
It was doing nothing under his power.
That's wrong.
Name
Well,
something
we
he
passed the
wanted
health care
didn't
bill
get.
that should have been passed.
What did he want he didn't get?
Well,
he got a stimulus bill. He got health care. He got Dodd-Frank.
He got a much watered down stimulus bill. There should have been another $1 trillion in stimulus.
Hey, you know what, though, guys? I'm a numbers guy, and everything in the last 3 years have been negative Obama numbers. No one's lowering expectations. We're just reading the numbers. They're getting uglier and uglier.
Let me ask you something. Do you think if John McCain were president, those numbers would be any different?
I do.
Do you really think that that's a winning strategy? Is to just say if it was not for the Republicans?
No, I think
he's in charge.
And I think he's got a very good record, including health care that you guys all make fun of. That 40 million people have a chance in 2 years.
So why aren't you running on it? Why don't Democrats?
I am running on it, but I'm not running for anything.
Everything they've done.
I couldn't get nominated for dog catcher, but that's not the point.
But by the end of this segment, you'll probably have 800 followers on Twitter.
I'm sure I do. All saying you dumb.
There you go. All right.
Okay. See, I did it. I did. I actually beat myself. It was sort of a beep because I was going to say something else, but I didn't.
All right.
As it says, tease. This means Bob, shut up. Go ahead, Greg. Tease.
Oh, Bob. We have to change the name of this show to Oh, Bob.
No, please.
All right, coming up, a group of bystanders are being hailed as heroes after rescuing a motorcyclist pinned under a car. We have the incredible video next up on The Five.
Front porches, astroturf lawn chairs and tiki torches, regular Joes rocking the boat that's us, the Redneck Yacht Club. Bermuda's flip-flops and a tank